Good morning. It's not the morning. It's actually the afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. My name is Graham Day. And yes, I know I look like a lumberjack, but I'm also joined by Bibi. All right.
I do not look like a lumberjack.
To be fair, you've got like the good... a lumberjack should have good facial hair.
Big bushy beard.
Good big bushy beard. Yeah, full on Hamish styles. Anyway, welcome in. How are we all doing? If you're live in the chat, please do feel free to get involved with the conversation. If you don't know who we are, what this is, what we're doing, well, my name is Graham. Hey, as you can see on the screen, I am joined by the man that we call Bibi. This is Ice Cream Uploads. If you didn't quite tell, it says it on the back of my laptop, on the back of Bibi's laptop, on both of our nameplates, in the bottom corner of the screen down there, and on the two TVs behind us. I don't know if you realise that this is Ice Cream Uploads. Hey, how you doing? Well, we are live with The Scoop, the UK's #1 video game podcast, if we do say so ourselves. For the next hour or so, we will be going through the biggest, the best, and breaking stories from the world of video games. But that's not it. We will give you our thoughts and impressions. We want to hear your thoughts and impressions too. And then we want your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions. That is how this works. So if you're in the chat, please do feel free to do that. It's important that you do that. We are live on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads, where we go live each and every single weekday at 10 a.m. ish.
Is it mid 12:15?
It's 12:15.
Okay, no worries.
10 a.m.-ish. We go live at 10 a.m.-ish each and every single weekday, but we do work in the video games industry. The work stuff comes first. So the streams, the scoops, the podcasts, the gameplays and stuff fits in around the real work. And the real work is it's a busy day today. So if you're in the chat, please do feel free to get involved over the next hour or so, because this live stream gets turned into a podcast, a video that goes on YouTube, and an audio podcast that goes on iTunes and Spotify and SoundCloud and Google Play. So there is a lot of places where people get to watch and listen to this on demand, but they don't get to get involved in the chat like you guys do. So if you do that, if you're here, make sure you do that. Do you know what? Actually, do you know what? Why are you all the way over there? Come a little bit closer. Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Do you know what? The studio's looking pretty good there. Your camera positioning, your lighting and stuff. I think.
Yeah.
GG's.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Thank
you. It's been a slog. I mean, again, we've been back in the office. Well, we've probably been back in the office like 3 or 4 weeks, but me and you wasn't in for like a week because we were just giving everyone some sort of foot and mouth or some shit. So yeah, it's been like 3 weeks trying to get the studio back to normal again. That's sorting the lighting out, sorting the double microphones out, sorting vMix out, because it's a pain in the fucking ass. If you have vMix, like, if you know everything about vMix, you will be sound for the rest of your life. Like, it's not like OBS and Streamlabs where everything's pretty easy. Like, it doesn't take long to figure out how to use OBS or Streamlabs. But using vMix is a completely different beast. It's a pain in the fucking ass. It's not like you just want to be able to put... I tried to put a text file in this morning. You can't even do that. You genuinely can't. It's just got 4 other programs that you have to run stuff through for it to be able to come through. But it's the same sort of stuff that ITV and BBC use when they're doing their live production. So it's way more expensive than, obviously, Streamlabs, because Streamlabs is free. Dead easy. You can install it. But it's not very user-friendly unless you know what you're doing. And not being here for 18 months trying to figure it all out again. Pain in the ass, but it's getting better. We've managed to get overlays done. We've managed to get Discussing Now stuff in. We've managed to get 2 microphones in, so when you're talking, it's not coming through my microphone. Like, long time coming, but we're getting there eventually.
Although chat is dead.
What do you mean?
Like chatty.
It says not connected. Funnily enough.
God damn it, chatty.
I wonder why that is.
Whilst you're fixing chatty, I will go through chats. Shout out to, and this is absolutely 100% a real person. FJC Lan over here 123 who types with a very deep heartfelt message saying, want to become famous, buy followers and viewers on... Get the fuck out of here.
It's been a while since we've had one of them.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, appreciate you still trying that grind in 2021. I mean, needs must. Tears Bad says, hi all, some bastard just won $60 million in Australia and it wasn't me. Boo. God damn it. Vern, thank you very much for the host. Good morning. How you doing? Thank you very much. Grady, your mic is still a bit off. Bibbies is fine. I know he's doing me dirty.
I don't understand that. Like the the settings are exactly the same across both microphones. Like genuinely, they're both the same.
Yeah, same level of...
Like the same amount of gain, same amount of everything. I don't understand that.
In what is it just when I'm getting loud, or is it just generally? Because when I listened back to it on the the VOD, it sounded okay, apart from when I got loud.
Yeah.
Then my audio was peaking. But yeah, what you saying? Let me know. Gagad says, "Good morning, studio." Good morning, Gagad. Bibi loving his mic, big cuddles.
yeah, I'm a keep it on this screen because they can't see it then. But I'm a fidgeter. Like I have to have something in me. Like when I'm at home or something, I have to have something in my hand while I'm talking or whatever. So having something like this, it's annoying because, well, I don't know if you can hear me touching that because that would be a problem if you could. But yeah, I can't. You got me fucking self-conscious now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you see? Whereas I'm like, if anyone watched the stream of me playing PUBG with Lotus and Hamish last night, and Ditchy as well, by the way, then I was taking the mick out of Lotus at one point because Craig did an exceptional asset for us, which was me full on PUBG'd up, glasses on, Vector in my hand, sniper rifle on my back, and then we added Lotus to the asset as well, in the full like player unknown, like white shirt, black tie sort of thing. But when I brought that asset up on screen, he full on got Mike Wazowski'd because I'm there full screen and the picture-in-picture was down there over Lotus's face, and that's what I feel like right now with this microphone here. Mike Wazowski,
look incredible.
That's what I said. I watched that video on stream yesterday because I was like, does anyone see Monsters Inc? You know what I'm saying? Look at Lotus's face.
It's quite a niche joke if no one's seen it before, isn't it?
I had to watch it. I was pissing myself as I saw it on screen. But anyway, hey.
Vern says that you sound crisp. You sound crispy to him. I think it's just the peak, personally. But then again, this is right under me gob. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm so used to being at home where the microphone is right here. I feel like even if it's that far away, it doesn't feel right to me. So
yeah, if it's bad, if it keeps peaking a lot because my volume levels change, I am quite a difficult person to monitor levels for. Like, I will be like, "Hi, welcome," and then I'm like, "Yeah, but that's all right." Then back to the noises again. And so, if needs be, we can drop that. I mean, that is the benefit of a Wave microphone. We were talking about this before we went live. We use the Wave microphones. I want to shout out Elgato because we didn't pay for the microphones. This isn't a spawn or an ad. We were gifted, but we don't have to say they're good. However, you don't notice that when I'm at home because Wave microphones have something called clip guard built in, and clip guard basically is an advanced compressor, and it works exceptionally well. So you will get peaking on this microphone that you don't get on the Wave mic because it just works on the fly much better than that.
Well, are these like 5 years old now compared to the Waves? The Waves are less than a year old. Well, Waves itself, there've been loads of them. We've just got the Wave 3.0, the newest one. But these are like 5 years old, so the technology in these is, even by today's standard, well outdated. They're still a fantastic mic. It's still crispy as shit. Like, you're more than acceptable to be able to use, but the technology that's inside them nowadays is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like the muting on the top, like I said before, like if I was to, I'm going to get muted now, but you'll be able to probably hear that.
The clunk of the mute button, whereas the Waves have a nice silent capacitive mute.
Yeah,
it's nice.
It's technology, eh?
I mean, these are really good mics, though. Anyone that's looking for a decent mic, if you've got the opportunity to get a mic, and someone say you can get a secondhand Blue Yeti or something, I would still recommend using a Blue Yeti.
The Snowball.
What's that?
Even the Snowball, even the Yeti Snowball is still fantastic.
If anyone watches Gaming Nacho streams, he uses a Blue Snowball, and that you can hear his audio is crisp because you get the right settings and you get it close enough to your mouth and you sound like you're beautiful, like you're on the radio. And you can do the same thing with the Blue Yeti. So I would recommend it. That said, Blue do have like a Yeti Nano or something like that, which is a new one, which I think is kind of more like the Wave stuff. I would still recommend a Wave mic. They are more expensive, but it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
GT Omega Brian, hey, long time no see. How's things, dude? I'm using a Blue Mini for work and play and has been pretty solid. Exactly. The only reason I stopped using this Blue Yeti, this Blue Yeti, that one is the one that I used to have in my home setup. The only reason I stopped using that at home is because Elgato gifted us the Waves for our home streams. So we've brought them in the studio, and we haven't ditched them from the studio because they're solid. You can't go wrong. I mean, I picked that up for like 60 quid with shock mount and everything else. Exceptional mic. Did me exceptionally well. If you've got it for one person in a home environment, be that gaming, be that a stream setup or whatever, you can't really go wrong at all. I mean, it's a bit more difficult when you've got it in a live studio environment and you've got like background noise and you've got me shouting next to you when you're sat there. A little bit different. But yeah, very good bike. How's things, Brian? Anyway, how you doing, dude?
Timeless is in the house as well.
Morning, gents.
Good afternoon at this point.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon. How's things, Timeless? Thank you very much for sticking around. Timeless, I want to give him a shout as well, by the way. He's not feeling very well at the moment. We won't stress on that. We'll keep on the positives, though. Despite not being 100%, he has been, as he always is, channeling positivity, looking after everyone's streams, giving everyone shout-outs on social media, and being in people's streams yesterday. So not only was he in our stream when we started at 6:30 last night, he was still there going midnight last night as well. So GG's, Timeless. Appreciate you very much. David says, it could be that I was using my surround sound system. I'm on my headset now, and there's still a bit of a peak distortion, but not that bad until you get loud. Sorry, David.
No, the peak's fine. Like, we can sort that out. That's not a problem.
As long as it sounds, if it doesn't sound distorted and broken when we're just having general conversation, then that's fine. If it's peaking, then that's just how do we keep Graham in a box?
Yeah,
Brian says, I am good. Just swung by for the banter for a while. We'll grab a seat. Get yourself a brew, love. Get yourself a brew. While we just sit back in our absolutely non-spawn GT Omega chairs. Yeah.
I mean, if you ever want to actually make an Ice Cream Uploads embroidered one that we haven't just stuck a logo on underneath, then you're more than welcome to be able to do that. Because, as long as it's a big one as well, because I've got a fat ass and these ones are perfect. The one that I've got at home is perfect, but there is smaller ones that my ass kind of spills over.
No, we'll not even the big ones. We'll go for the full leather specials that a little bird tells me Lionel Messi's got one. All I'm saying is Lionel Messi's got one, but if it's good enough for Lionel Messi, it's good enough for Graham's butt. Baby's butt, that's fine. That's what I'm saying. #ad. Anyway, we are here to talk about video game news. If you're in the chats, as mentioned, do please feel free to get involved over the next hour or so as we jump through the stories, and I can tell you what those stories are. We will be kicking things off with the fact that if I was at home, at this point in time, I'd be wheeling over to the right, opening my drawer and pulling out my copy of Cyberpunk 2077 for the PS4/PS5 because it's still in its cellophane wrapper. I don't know if I've mentioned that before.
I don't think you have.
No, I don't think
it's news to me.
Yeah, I've not played it. I know, you didn't know. Anyway, I have a copy of Cyberpunk and I've not played it because I'm waiting for the PS5 updates because the game just wasn't as good as we wanted it to be. It's not quite there yet, and it's not going to be there for a while, as the lead story is that Cyberpunk 2077 and The Witcher 3 have been delayed till 2022 on the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S, which is a little bit disappointing, but you know what? Yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that when we get to that. We will then follow that up with Get Away With Your Cookies, spamming me, with the fact that God of War is coming to PC on January the 14th, published by PlayStation Mobile. If you haven't played God of War because you don't have a PlayStation 4 or a PS5, well, if you've got a PC, you will be able to play it. An exceptional game is coming to PC. Then we will jump to the article that got shelved from yesterday and
more cookies?
All of the cookies. Legitimate interest? Object. You will never, ever have my cookie if you're asking for it.
Pop-ups. More pop-ups.
The article after that is that Destiny 2 will sell Year 5 dungeons separately from the Witch Queen and Season Passes. If that title sounds familiar, that is because that article has rolled over from yesterday. We did have that on yesterday's show, but we got to about an hour and 20 minutes in yesterday, an hour and a half, and we realised, you know what? You guys are amazing. There's a lot of conversation, but we're going to have to move some stories. So we've rolled that over from yesterday. And then finally, there is a patented PlayStation feature that allows players to pay to kick other people from games. Baby, do you want to play? Do you want to play some PUBG? Just...
Boof, straight off a cliff.
Goodbye. Oh, baby is no longer in the game. No. Oh no. I mean, that's the easiest way to win a battle royale, though.
I suppose. Yeah. I mean, pay to win.
Full on. Pay to play. Pay to not play. So yeah, those are the stories. I'm waiting for the Xbox update. Not surprised, to be honest. Anyway, so first story of the day is the fact that Cyberpunk 2077 and The Witcher 3 have been delayed till 2022 on the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. This is written for the Metro by GameCentral, that lovely journalist. Do you know, I wonder who does this, because I'm not a fan of journalists writing news. Even if the staff and paid or whatever are not having their names credited. But anyway.
I think GameCentral is an alias for someone, because I follow them on Twitter. I don't know if it's them as in like a collection of people or just one person, but I think they had their own, like, We're Ice Cream Uploads. I think GameCentral was like a branded content creators who now just write under their alias.
I don't mind it for like ice cream uploads as such, because this is like our hobby thing. Whereas that's something someone's getting paid for, right? Surely that's someone's full time job, and they just don't have a portfolio.
Yeah, it's like they're leasing it out to like IGN. Like IGN is a collective of people. Like GameCentral could be a collective of people, but they're just writing on behalf of.
But at IGN, you'll get like each individual person's name on the videos and the content. Anyway, that's a whole different conversation. We basically want journalists to get their props. Is what we're saying. Anyway, this article says, I'll go back to the title, even though it's off the screen. I'll give you a catch up because we did go on a little bit of a tangent then. Cyberpunk 2077 and The Witcher 3 are delayed till 2022 on the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. Okay, into the body of the text then. CD Projekt has confirmed rumours that the next-gen versions of both Cyberpunk and The Witcher 3 aren't coming out this year. Just as suspected, CD Projekt has confirmed that the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S versions of Cyberpunk 2077 will not be released until next year, and neither will The Witcher 3. Although no date was ever announced for either, a listing on the PEGI age rating website suggests that The Witcher 3 was originally supposed to be out this week, although now it won't be released until the second quarter of 2022, i.e. somewhere between April and June. Cyberpunk 2077 is due to launch sometime in the first quarter of 2022, but there's no specific release date, which doesn't inspire much confidence that it won't be delayed again. Even assuming Cyberpunk 2077 does make it out next spring, that means it will arrive more than a year after the disastrous launch of the last gen and PC versions of the game, with the bug-ridden state of the former ruining the reputation of both the game and CD Projekt themselves. CD Projekt has never offered any detailed information on what will be different about the next gen versions of the game, of either game, although the obvious priority with Cyberpunk is that it will be bug-free. Imagine, next gen, you can get it without bugs. Great. Equally, no specific reason was given for the delay of the games, with a Twitter announcement saying merely that, quote, based on recommendations supplied by teams supervising the development of both games, we decided to postpone their releases until 2022. Apologies for the extended wait, but we want to make it right, it added. And that is the end of the article. See, this one... how do I put this? How do I put this? Do I have a problem with games being delayed? No. Do I have a problem with people being made to wait to get the game in its best form? No. But where was this a year ago? Why didn't that happen first? What's the difference now? Like, was it someone in charge that's going, fuck it, it's going live now, feck the consoles? Nobody plays on consoles anyway. PC's reasonable. Let's go. Get it out. Has that person been dropped? Has that person seen that fecking up so much has required a complete U-turn because it was so bad, and to see now it being delayed so much, like over a year to get a game working on a platform that it should have been working on at launch, that's not great. I mean, it's difficult though, because you take the time, make it right, fine. But should have been a year ago. It's like, where do you sit, babe? What are you thinking?
It says in this article that it says, although no date was ever announced for either a listing or the PEGI rating website, where the hell did I get that the new gen version of Cyberpunk was meant to be coming out in November this year?
Oh, no, that says just for The Witcher 3, that bit.
Right, okay.
So no date.
I mean, to be fair, I didn't even know they was making a PS5 version of The Witcher. But
I mean, I full on knew because we do the games news every day with the Scoop.
But The Witcher is in a playable state. I've got The Witcher on my, it's in my library, so I could just download it whenever I want. But I can play that game and it'll be bug free. It'll be absolutely fine. So waiting for a next gen version of that game is absolutely fine, like as and when. But the fact that I still cannot play, even on a PlayStation 5, Cyberpunk to its fullest potential, that's still an absolute disgrace. Like, if I wanted to play Cyberpunk, we put it in our Discord that Ads actually wants to play Cyberpunk, but he still owns a PlayStation 4, so it's genuinely a no-go area for him because it will not brick his console, but it will be stuttering. It'll be 12 frames a second. Like, there's just no point downloading or playing that game. Even on a PlayStation 5, albeit it's a little bit smoother because you're playing it off an SSD, everything runs a little bit faster, the resolution's a little bit better, it's a lot more in line to the PC version, which again isn't perfect, but more than playable it is on the last gen consoles. Like,
it shows you how bad it must have been, though, for them to be over 12 months going, do you know what, actually, we're not developing the game, we are optimizing a game, it shows you how badly made it was for the consoles, that 12 months of optimizing isn't enough to get it to a reasonable launch state.
It must have been like 35% finished when they pressed the button for that to go live.
There's probably things like, we don't know how to code for the PS5 either, so
if
we
I
need to
fucking hear that word,
figure
that
out
phrase, we need to add more polish.
Yeah,
I'll throw myself off a fucking cliff.
You can't polish a turd, and it was a turd. I mean, it was.
There was no fucking glitter left either.
The worst thing is, though, is like, you look at Cyberpunk and what sold you on Cyberpunk. If it wasn't Keanu Reeves, and for a lot of people it was Keanu Reeves, which makes sense because he's breathtaking. You're breathtaking.
His hair is breathtaking.
He's fucking everything's about his breath. He's a lovely guy. Anyway, the thing that if he didn't sell you, it was the idea of Night City, and not, maybe you didn't even know the words Night City. You didn't know that was a place, but it was the feel, the vibe of Night City. You've got the dark, rainy, retro synthwave style that's there, postmodern, cyber-futuristic, but also a little bit over-the-top punkish kind of stuff. Cyberpunk, there we go. So we want that environment. We've seen cars, we're seeing people with technological advancements in their skins and things like that, and everything's going on. It's like Blade Runner, but in a video game. I want
Ready
to be
Player
in that.
One.
Yeah, exactly. Everything's happening, and then when you actually see it on the PS4, and there's like one person walking down the street because the console's like, I can't compute anymore.
Seeing the city brimming with people. I mean, obviously there was just copy and paste NPCs as well. There was genuinely the same person would walk down the street at the same time. You'd fire a gun off in the middle of the street where there's hundreds of people, cars about. You fire the gun off, no cars, no people. Like, how can you have a city with no people in there? Especially with, it's not an MMO, so it's not as if like the people aren't meant to be there originally.
Do you know what? Fair play to CD Projekt Red, because they knew what lockdown was going to be like before it happened. So CD Projekt Red launched in the lockdown state. Basically, they're just getting themselves for the full new normal. That's what I understand now. No, I don't. Timeless says, can't blame them after the backlash they got from the original Cyberpunk release. I read a great book about game development earlier this year called Blood, Sweat and Pixels. Really opened my eyes to game development and the precious development teams are under. Yet most reviews of the game gave it high scores, despite being told what they could say and show, knowing full well it was broken. It did. It got quite a few high scores. It got quite a few low scores as well. There was a good spread, but I believe it got high scores based on what it could have been, which is not ever what a review should ever be.
Wasn't there like a massive thing about this? So like people were giving their reviews out before the game released, and they had even played it.
Yeah,
like because the people wasn't allowed to have the B-roll, they wasn't allowed to get their hands on it, and when they did eventually able to get their hands on it, it was PC only. There was no console versions of it. So obviously the people who was able to play this on a very high-end PC, maybe through a VPN or through like Parsec or something, because we couldn't go to places to be able to play these games and play tests and stuff. Like, it's bizarre that we're in a situation where you can review a game and give it a score before they've even actually played it. That seems outrageous. But
I got tired of seeing the phrase, or not word for word, obviously, but I just know this is going to be my game of the year.
Yeah.
How do you know that?
Oh, God.
You could play multiple games that are just going to be your game of the year. But you ask me what my game of the year is, and I don't know. I have to sit there and think about what I've done over the last year, let alone something that I haven't touched.
A game of the year for me can only become a contender if A, I've finished it, or if it's a stupidly 80-hour open-world adventure. I'm like 35 hours into it at that point. Like, I can't give something a game of the year tag without experiencing it either to its absolute max or to a point where I think, okay, it might be the bit of the same going forward. The storyline might get a little bit more progressed down the line.
I didn't finish it, but I just assumed that the big twist at the end that was obviously going to come right, that was going to be exceptional, and I wasn't going to see it coming.
Yeah.
So
it's bizarre. I can't. I'll never understand why that is ever a thing. And as a journalist, it already feels like you're putting your head on a chopping block if you release your article saying, "Okay, this is going to be game of the year." I've not played it. I've just seen a little bit of. I don't know. I mean, there wasn't even a lot of B-roll, so it's
Yeah, it's like you can't record your own footage. You're not allowed B-roll. We will give you certain bits that you can use, and that's it. No, it's like saying, do you know what? I've seen season 1, 2, 3, 4 of Game of Thrones. This stuff is shit. For me, best TV series ever. Surely it's gonna finish the way it started, right? Right? No, it doesn't work that way.
We need a hard cut button for that as well.
Yeah, just like a boom.
Yeah.
It used to be a hard cut, but never intentionally. It was just like we forgot to put the thing in.
Yeah, stinger in.
That became it. Yeah, just
we've got another camera over there that we're not using, so that maybe the side cam can be a hard cut.
Yeah,
because this isn't really high cam anymore, is it? It's just a posh
their
side
cam. Just
yeah,
their cam.
It's just their cam. Alistair's in the chat.
He is. I've just seen Game of the Century, Elder Scrolls, Oblivion. Everything else comes in behind.
Hard to disagree.
Hashtag baby game. Hashtag Alistair game. There you go.
Yeah. I did actually. I need to share something. Actually, I signed into Facebook yesterday. I signed into it like I'm a fucking 70-year-old man for the first time.
All right, Nana.
Yeah. And you know what? It gives you like your timeline memories, and it's me and Connor doing the scoop 2 years ago, and him coming in doing the Halo theme. Yeah, and then just slowly walking out like nothing had even happened. I need to reshare that again just for the levels.
How's things, Alistair? Bibby, a little bird called Bibby tells me that you're famous or something on Amazon Twitch Prime to death.
Absolutely. I heard directly from Alistair, not even through the grapevine, directly from the man himself, that he's doing something for Amazon regarding his book. So,
do you know Jeff Bezos?
Yeah,
mate. GG's. Where did we get to? GT Omega Brian says, yeah, restricting the people from reviewing the console version was a massive misplay, in my opinion. What did they expect to happen? It's bizarre as well, because the news at the time, and I may be misquoting, but it was something generally like they just assumed the PlayStation version was going to be fine, or they didn't realise that it was going to be that bad. It was something along that level where it was the higher ups going, oh yeah, the console ones will be fine. It was either from the angle that they just assumed it'd work, or they just assumed people weren't going to be playing the console version. And I could see it being both. From my experience with not all devs, but some devs in the past, I've seen that similar thing. No doubt, some people are going to jump at the Konami conclusion. I'm not talking about Konami there either, but I've seen that with devs in the past, just assuming that console was kind of secondary or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't great decisions, especially. I mean, and you get that sort of stuff. Like, okay, nobody can see console. If you want to play the review code, you can't play on console. Mm-hmm. You have to play on PC. Do not capture any footage though, because you're not allowed to use that. Yeah, you can only use these pre-approved bits of footage that we will give you, and there won't be a lot of it, just a bit of it. And it's like, what's that? Oh my god, that's a big red flag. Nice.
We have just been raided with 11 people over from iLotus UK.
New phone. Who this? New phone. Who this? I can't see the emote. This is where Chatty gets annoying. There we go. It's a Kappa. There we go. Hey.
Where's the baby Kappa? Fucking hell. Do you know what I mean? He has a. Can we get rid of the default ones? Or are they just used for everyone?
They're used for everyone. We can't get rid of the global emotes. Let's get some baby Kappas in the chat.
It's a disgrace. You got the old point. There it is. Again, like. I don't even know if Samantha's here or anything like that, but I said to you, like, my Kappa emote looks like when Carl Pilkington goes and gets hair for the first time when he puts a wig on. That's what it looks like. It looks like someone just stuck a wig on top of my head.
King Comic, thank you very much for the host as well. I'm assuming, Lotus, we've been playing some pubbers this morning. What have you been playing? Have you been playing normal PUBG? Have you been playing Halloween BR? Have you been playing a bit of both? Have you got on? Managed to get us a win yesterday. COD.
Hey, COD.
He just didn't use the Bibi Kappa again.
Oh,
it's just absolutely selling shot.
Oh, well,
no support there.
Sick of it. Can you ban him?
Can do. Of course, PUBG. King Comic says, welcome, lads. Welcome, dude. How's things? How's things? Brian said, a key marker for my Game of the Year potential list is if I'm actively thinking about buying it for people so they can play it. See, that's the thing. I mean, and if it's not buying, it's giving it to other people, the renting thing, which exactly ties into the last proper Game of the Year for me was years back now. I didn't really.
Tetris Effect?
Yeah, Mr. Bambo, nice. It was Star Wars, which I don't know where my Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order copy is.
It's probably the same place as Resident Evil 2.
This is not in my house. But yeah, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and that's a good example in this situation as well, because CD Projekt Red's game comes out. Yeah, it's going to be great. It wasn't. Cyberpunk wasn't great. It was buggy as well, but it just wasn't great overall. Whereas I thought Jedi Fallen Order was great, but buggy. There was still a few bugs in it, but overall it gave me what I wanted for Game of the Year. Like, I've said it before, there's a few bits in it that get super cinematic and you feel like, okay, this is a Star Wars. Boom, this is the vibe. This is what I want. Yeah, I'm sat there with that. The TIE fighters.
The opening 10 minutes of that is unbelievable. Like, that's with them Astro headsets on. Like, again, this is no way spawned, but I couldn't imagine just playing with like normal earphones in or something like that. You want to feel like you're there, kind of thing.
I mean, it clearly means Corsair Void headsets because we've got a logo on the screen and their things, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Oh no, although we aren't spawned by that anyway. By the way, we were gifted those by Corsair too. But yeah, but that for me wasn't perfect. It was my Game of the Year because of the way it made me feel, and it was me going, okay, like, do you want to borrow it? Do you want to borrow it, Luke? Does anyone want to borrow it? You should play this game. You should borrow it. I mean, other people liked it. Some people didn't like it, which is fine. But for me, that was Game of the Year for me. And having that conversation is only something that, like Brian says, it's what you come off the back of playing that game with. It's how, okay, that was a great story, but done. It's like we were having a conversation about Squid Game this morning. This might trigger some people in the chat.
Oh my God, fine. Yeah. I'm never writing a status about this because I cannot be arsed.
Nah. But Squid Game has been best TV series ever. Have you not seen Sopranos then? Did you not watch The Wire? I mean, it was good, but I won't say it was the best TV series that I have ever seen. I would say I enjoyed it. I would say I will watch season 2 happily, very much so. It's not the best TV series ever, but it's kind of one of those where it gets caught up in hyperbole. Everyone's saying it's going to be great. Cyberpunk's going to be the best game ever because we've had 27 Night City Wires building up to this over the last 7 years, and all of the content everywhere. We had Keanu Reeves on stage at E3. Oh, what do you mean it doesn't work? It doesn't even work on my console 1 year after launch. Not getting.
I feel like the way I know this is not a fucking Squid Game review by any stretch of the imagination, but a couple of things ruined it for me.
He's going for it. A
couple of things ruined it for me. The dubbing was horrendous. Like, I heard, the only reason I watched it dubbed, I never usually would, I'd watch it subbed, but a lot of people were saying that the translation wasn't one for one with what the characters were saying, so it was all mixed up, so I had to watch it dubbed. So I thought, all right, okay, I'll grin and bear it. But like, there was someone's mum, again, I'm not going to ruin the plot or anything like that, but someone's mum was obviously being voice acted by a female actress. It sounded like the woman was clearly in her 60s or 70s in that, but she sounded like a 21-year-old American. Like, if you want to be able to try and dub that, it needs to be a little bit more authentic. So it felt like one person was voicing the entire cast, and that kind of took me out of it. But it was just another play on Battle Royale. I imagine it was amazing for people that haven't experienced any kind of Battle Royale games and they haven't watched the Hunger Games. But I imagine if you watch the Hunger Games and then Squid Game, you kind of be like, it's just the Hunger Games, but in Korea.
It's PUBG, which is already in Korea.
Yeah, it is
though. Hunger Game vibe, 100%.
Yeah, it's okay. It was a good watch. Like, I wouldn't like force it down your fucking throat like everyone was doing to watch it. It was a good watch. Like, I enjoyed watching it.
To give a good contrast of something like the year before, Tiger King is not something that if you said, you want to watch a documentary about a zoo with weird people in it, I was like, nah, I'd probably pass that. However, that was TV that I couldn't stop watching. Yeah. Whereas Squid Game, we obviously smashed it like either in one night or a couple of nights or whatever. But I would say Tiger King was a better experience than Squid Game for me. I still enjoyed Squid Game. Mr. T says, Breaking Bad, goats. I liked do you know what? I actually put Breaking Bad as the same as Squid Game. I liked it.
I would actually I would put Breaking Bad at the top of my list. Like everyone always says, Sopranos, The Wire, Breaking Bad. I've only seen one of those, which is Breaking Bad. I've seen it 4 times now, and I've literally just finished watching it like last week again when me and Samantha watched all the seasons and then watched El Camino straight afterwards. By far the best acting and best story I've ever seen. I mean, ever.
You're not on your own with that one, definitely. I mean, I remember when Breaking Bad was on Toby running home from work because he was like, new episode's out, I want to go home and see it. Literally legging it home from work to see it.
You can't go on social media that day. That's how good it was, because you knew someone had already watched it before you.
I mean, I didn't watch it until afterwards. I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. Danielle gave up on it. I watched the rest of it and I enjoyed it, but I still think for me, like the HBOs, like The Sopranos and The Wire, they take it for me. Brian says, big one for me was Hollow Knight. I've bought it for like 4 people since it came out. See, that's a game of the year conversation there, because you've enjoyed something so much that you want other people to have that experience. I bought Cyberpunk and I would pay for people to not play that game.
Well, I actually broke your Resident Evil duck, Resident Evil 2, by saying you need to fucking play this game. Like, it's not a 1-for-1 for the original, which the original is my favourite game ever. Like, I will play that game every single day of the year, because it takes like 3.5 hours to complete it. It's fine, but the Resident Evil 2 remake was by far it is now better than the original one in my opinion. And I broke your duck by giving you that game for you to be able to play and experience it. And you said it was good, probably not as hyped as I was, because I'm in that universe and I love it so much.
Yeah, I mean, you've grown up with that universe, so that's kind of like that's the rose-tinted glasses mixed with the current day stuff. You can't recapture that sort of stuff. I enjoyed it, but whereas you'd kind of grown up and built with that, I was being terrorised by some fucking massive dude in a mansion. Just leave me alone!
But I imagine if Metal Gear, the original one, was to ever get remade again, I imagine you would have the same thing for everyone else. You'd be like trying to cram it down people's places. Like, you've never played the original, fucking play this one.
Metal Gear Solid 3 again. Best game ever.
So everyone has those kind of games, and it was my game of the year. There was no question. It don't matter what came out that year, it was always going to be that. But I've completed it like 5 times since, so it's just the game of the year is always down to personal preference. I'll never get it based off of hype.
It's highly unlikely as well that the game of the year will be released one year and then played 16 months later on. Probably not how video games are best released. If anyone is late in, as obviously we now shout out to Bib, by the way, for getting the discussing now on the screen. So we have the ability to move these on and off screen now. Yay! CD Projekt delays next gen big ones. So both CD Projekt's big releases, that's Cyberpunk 2077 and The Witcher 3, have been delayed until 2022. One first quarter, one second quarter. So if you're looking forward to playing those on your nice shiny new PS5, not yet. Red Dot Bot says The Last Kingdom / Ozark. Do you know what we've been watching Ozark? I actually really enjoyed it, and then
I see. I can't say much because I've literally just seen Mrs. Bibby in the chat. Afternoon, babe.
Tell Bibby he has to watch TK.
Yeah, the Tiger King. But we started watching Ozark, and if Samantha isn't feeling it or I'm not feeling it, it's an automatic tie. We can't continue to watch it.
Okay.
So it's kind of like we started it. We watched maybe the first 5 episodes of the first season. I was kind of getting into it. She wasn't, so therefore we're not watching it. And moved on to something else instead.
I would say the first season, I can't remember how many seasons. I'm going to assume 3. I could be wrong. And it kind of went like, ooh, but it kind of like ended with it could either go back up again or just fall off.
I've seen Bateson talked about it all the time.
Yeah,
like he creams off it.
Yeah, every time I talk to him about it. But then again, it's kind of like horses for courses. So Mr. T in the chat mentioned that his favourite TV ever was Breaking Bad. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed Breaking Bad to the point where obviously I started watching Better Call Saul, but then kind of gave up on Better Call Saul.
I love that as well. I love Bob Odenkirk though, and I love the prequel stuff, like getting to know more about how Gus managed with Los Polios, and also behind it, yeah.
Pollos.
Sorry, I didn't put the accent behind it. Do you know what I mean?
Los Polos Hermanos. Actually,
but yeah, I love Better Call Saul.
You do need to watch Tiger King though.
I don't. Well,
do you know, genuinely, it's fucking amazing.
It's weird because I watched the Louis Theroux documentary like he did last year, looking back, because he tried to get more people in the Tiger King world to come on and do a documentary with him, because he'd already done it like 10 years ago, didn't he? And then he did like a catch-up thing, obviously, to capitalise on the stuff.
What, money to be made?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I really enjoyed that, but to be fair, anything with Louis Theroux, and I'm going to watch it. He's just, he is the man when it comes to making documentaries.
I can't describe anything in the Tiger King without it sounding batshit crazy, but it's batshit crazy, but a good documentary at the same time. It's like car crash TV, but also interesting at the same time. It's really good. I love
documentaries anyway, so I need to double down. But
just give up on the it was like 5 episodes, and then they released the 6th episode, which was like, I don't know what's his name, not Ryan Seacrest, but the guy that looks like him, that just goes back and then speaks to the cast. Don't bother with that. That episode's shit. Don't bother. But just don't take Gaga's word for it. Tiger King was shit, no arguments. I mean, I don't know what an argument is, so have that. Yeah. Where did we get to? It's rolled off the top of the screen. Squid Game was good, but not good. That it's a game... but not good that it's a game on Roblox. It's a game on Roblox now? Is it? Mrs. Lotus, I did not know. I mean, I do have issues with that sort of stuff, though, because Squid Game's got, like...
I see, I've read that differently to you. Squid Game is good, but not good enough that it's not a game on Roblox, is how I read it.
I read said that that it's not a game on Roblox.
Yeah, so
I read
it's not as popular, so it isn't a game on Roblox.
Oh, I read it that it's good, but it doesn't deserve to have a game on Roblox.
Okay, clarification needed.
Yeah, Mr. Lotus, we need
Stalemate.
Yeah, let us know. We can't continue this conversation, do we know? Timeless says, watch The Wire. 100%, I agree.
I need that.
Was waiting for Bibby to say he hated Breaking Bad, waiting to unfollow.
Yeah, I've got taste.
Although I watched The Sopranos last year and loved it. Definitely up there. Yeah, both good. Loving the studio, by the way. First look for me. It's first time.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's come a bit closer, love. That's that. We need to get like roving camera, like a roving report one, where we can show people around. And there's a lot of boxes and stuff that you don't see off screen. I've not seen Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, or Squid Game, and don't feel like I missed anything that was end of the world, unmissable.
I mean, what are you been watching then?
Just Star Trek.
Deep Space Nine.
Yeah. Breaking Bad is definitely worth a watch. Game of Thrones is such a shame because 8 seasons and about 6 of them were unmissable TV. But the ending was so bad, I would never tell anyone to watch the first 6 seasons. It's not worth it. Squid Game, I would definitely tell anyone to watch. I wouldn't say it's the best for me, but I wouldn't. Yeah, decent enough. See, Danielle says Tiger King is so good. You need to watch it.
Okay.
You watch it.
Well,
I've decided for you. There you go.
I've been outnumbered.
Carol Baskin killed him, whacked him. I mean, it shows how big it was when Chloe was singing TikToks about Carol Baskin and didn't know what it was.
Everyone's being earwormed by it. I mean, Samantha chases me around I mean, not so much now, she's carrying a child. But she chases me around the house to watch TikToks. Like, she doesn't even send them. She'll send them me, but then if I don't watch it within 30 seconds, she'll chase me around the house to watch it.
Oh, see, Danielle has a few TikToks on the go at the moment. When the sun goes down on a Mac out of town, on my side of town or whatever, it's absolutely a banger of a tune though. It's kind of one of those where you're like, oh, fucking hell, it's that song again, but I'm dancing on.
Yeah, you're toe tapping. Yeah.
No, there we go. We got confirmation. Mrs. Lotus says, yeah, my 6-year-old plays it on Roblox, so it's good, but not good that it deserves to have the game.
Right. Okay.
Which I agree with. I agree with that sentiment. I enjoyed it, but it doesn't need spin-offs. And also, it's about people being murdered and murdering each other. Why is it in a game? Like,
is it not Fall Guys? I was going to call it Knockout Guys then, but it's not that.
Knockout Guys.
Yeah. Fall Guys. Is it not just that, but without the guns and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing though. The Hunger Games made into Minecraft and stuff like that. So but that's my issue. Not with Squid Game and not with Roblox. That's my issue with content creators. Like, a lot of content creators will go, "Oh, Squid Game's out, so we need to tie Squid Game into what we make," and it's like, you make videos for 3-year-old kids. What are you doing? Stick with Bob the Builder. It's a game on Roblox, and our kids keep trying to play it IRL, so it's been banned. Yeah. What are you doing with all those big sheets of... Actually, you know what? Never mind. Spoilers. Spoilers.
Someone's getting jumpsuits for Christmas.
Well, used to play it. Touché. Ooh, that's a good angle. I'll drive up and be your cameraman. Maybe be covered on a poster again. Mike Wazowski. I've already mentioned that, by the way. I don't think you were in at that point in time. We were talking about Mike Wazowski and you on stream yesterday. Bibby got the reference, so there you go. I hear Ice Cream Uploads is worth watching, says Tazbad. Ish. If anyone could just spam the ish emo, there you go. You love it. Maybe I do. Maybe Jordan. It's one of those. It's like the lady doth protest too much. What do you say?
I just said afternoon, Jordan. Yo.
I'll read.
Yo.
I'll read. Anyway, so that was the story. Cyberpunk 2077. Its next big games. Wow, I missed it. Sorry, we'll get it clipped for you. Well, we'll clip yesterday's and stuff as well. We'll make it into the little YouTube skit that you were talking about last night. We'll do it. So yeah, Cyberpunk 2077 and The Witcher 3 have both been delayed until next year. So if you're looking forward to playing those on your PS5, your Xbox Series X and S, well, it ain't
tough titties.
Yeah, exactly. However, if you have a PC, then you do have options. If you can't wait for Cyberpunk, how about God of War? Nice. As God of War is coming to PC on January the 14th, published by PlayStation Mobile. It's just a mobile game.
Can you imagine? That's just going to piss off all of the PlayStation universe.
So God of War ends its PS4 exclusivity in just a few months' time. God of War is coming to PC on January the 14th, ending its almost 4-year exclusivity on PS4. The news was announced moments ago via an official trailer that showcases the performance that PC players can expect. God of War joins other big PS4 exclusives such as Death Stranding and Horizon Zero Dawn that have since been ported to PC quite unexpectedly. Sony had slowed down on the PC ports in recent months, but its latest offering could indicate a reignited commitment to getting these critically acclaimed game titles to more players. There we go. The Steam page for God of War on PC is already live, and the game can be pre-ordered now. According to the description, PC players can expect improved visuals, ultra-wide support, that's what she said, and a range... sorry. I'm not sorry. So what you sign up for, and a range of ways to play with control customization.
Fuck me.
Other than that, it seems this is a faithful and wholly accurate port of the already widely adored action-adventure game. We don't need to go beyond that. But there you go, God of War is coming to PC.
Yes.
I'm all for this. What are your thoughts, babe?
Yeah, I mean, I understand that every console needs exclusives, and that's something that a lot of people, including us, have beat Xbox with that kind of stick. You can have all the Games Pass games that you want in the world, but ultimately, if you can play that same game elsewhere, obviously you can play it a lot cheaper over there, which is fantastic. But to sell a console, ideally, you want to be able to have games to sell your console. PlayStation have had that in abundance. They have had so many games, first-party games, that it's absolutely worth having a PlayStation. But games for everyone is where a sort of stance that I will always take. If I'm able to play these games exclusively for 12 months and I have the opportunity to be able to do that, that's fantastic. However, having the games on PC and Xbox or whatever else later down the line is fantastic. Like that, games for everyone.
I was asking myself with the microphone. Sorry.
So yeah, it's. I love this. I love the fact that people on PC have the opportunity now to be able to go and play this game. It's not as if it's moving over to the Xbox app and people are able to play it on Game Pass. It's not that kind of betrayal. However, people may want to try and spin this. It's obviously being able to be played on Steam. So yeah, I mean, the biggest thing that I could take one of the things that I could take out of this as well. Where is it? Sony have slowed down their PC ports in recent months. I didn't realise it was on a timer.
I know. It's well, all right, lads. Yeah, I mean, you've had a couple and then you didn't do anything. I mean, Death Stranding's not long since hit it. I mean, what else has there been in that sort of time frame? They've announced that Uncharted games are coming to PC.
Then Horizon Zero Dawn as well.
Yeah, so like they did Horizon first, then Death Stranding, then they announced that Uncharted is coming. They've announced that God of War is coming, and God of War is coming in January. It's like they've not really slowed down. It's still gearing up. Yeah. How can you?
He wants to just announce them all now and then not give you an idea of when they're going to be coming. At least they're working behind the scenes to try and put these performance tests to good use before actually announcing that it's in a playable condition. It will be coming eventually. Like
honestly, RHIANNON, BEVAN at the gamer. Give him some time. God damn it.
It seems a bit odd.
I'm excited though. I agree. The fact that PlayStation are putting more games on PC is good. We do get the conversation. I think the conversation always comes back to, though, is should this be happening more consistently now? Since PlayStation have realised that Horizon Zero Dawn has sold, was it over 500,000 copies on PC, and that was the first one they've done. Death Stranding's probably done pretty well as well. God of War, you'd expect, is arguably bigger than Horizon Zero Dawn and Death Stranding, not only because of the history, but because that was like a huge game of the year.
Change of pace for a God of War game, wasn't it? Like it was a proper like adventure rather than it being like a hack and slash game, which is one of them niche you have to be a massive hack and slash fan to be able to continue to play those games because they are very monotonous. It's the same thing over and over again. But this was
I'm not a hack and slash player, but I have this game. I mean, I've not played it, but I have this
proper storyline game. Like, it's something that you will actually spend 30 hours like going through emotions that you didn't necessarily have with a God of War game. So yeah, this is a completely different genre for people to be able to get stuck into. And I agree, like the games like Death Stranding and Horizon Zero Dawn, I would argue that God of War is bigger than both of them. Even if there was never a God of War game before this came out, I'd argue that this is probably bigger than both of those, regardless of who's making the others.
I'd say so. You take away like all of the fluff around it, and like Death Stranding's extra fluff with obviously the Kojima effect. He's a massive celebrity, but take him away and all of that stuff, and you put the game side by side. For me, I mean, you guys feel free to counter. For me, I am under the impression that God of War is, for all intents and purposes, and would rather use a better word, but a better game than those. A bigger game, whatever word you want to go for. It seems like that's a much bigger property. So seeing that coming to PC is another signal that Sony's first-party games probably consistently will be coming to PC going forward, which is nice to see. But back to the question that always comes up is, should that be happening alongside the console launch? Xbox games on Game Pass will come out on PlayStation and Xbox and PC at the same time. Should PlayStation and PC games be coming out at the same time? And that's where we get the trade-off, the fact that PC and PlayStation are separate, whereas Xbox and PC are more closely linked. So PlayStation wants to release their games because their games are platform and system sellers. Yeah. So if they release it on PlayStation, they get a full run at that market, and then they release it at PC afterwards, they get a full run at that market. Xbox is about the subscription service base, the Game Pass, getting them everywhere. So putting them out at the same systems at the same time in a subscription is kind of a winner chicken dinner for them. But yeah,
what's a fair window for them then?
Do you know what? I don't know. I mean, I would probably. I've always had in my mind the GTA sort of 6 months. GTA comes out, and then 6 months later you get the PC sort of thing. But I don't really know.
See, for me, I think 12 months is the minimum. I think 3 years is a long time.
Yeah.
Especially because the bubble may well have already been burst then. I'm saying that, look at how well Horizon Zero Dawn did. Like, I mean, it is coming up to 3 years now since God of War came out. I know you heard it going a little bit then, didn't you? So it's nearly, it might even be 3 years now since God of War came out. So I think 3 years is a long time.
2018, yeah.
So I think
if it comes out in 2022, it'll be 4 years-ish, depending on when it released in 2018.
12 to 18 months, I think, is the perfect window for a game, because you that's one Christmas. You get at least one Christmas worth of kids may potentially being able to have this for Christmas with their console. Maybe not God of War, because is it 15? I don't know. But to be in the holiday season, for a chance for it to be in the holiday season, I think is acceptable. I think anything after that is just.
I think we might see that changing though, because the things we've got to consider here is that Xbox and PC are kind of the same thing because of Microsoft. PlayStation and PC have not been. PlayStation realizing that they can. It's like having a new licensing revenue. We can sell our stuff in different shops. Fuck, I thought we had to sell it on our own counter. It's like TGI Fridays. You've got TGI Fridays, and then you can buy TGI Friday stuff in Iceland now.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Have you bought any of it?
Yeah. Is it any good? The bonus chicken wings are actually exceptional. What's the other bit?
They've got like chili. They have like warrior fries and stuff. Like
chili beef fries. That's it. Yeah. I was just about to ask Danielle, what else do we get?
Like me and Samantha went in. They've got loads of stuff, but we just
boneless chicken. I think they call boneless chicken wings and the beef chili fries or whatever.
Welcome to the scoop, ladies and gentlemen. This is food.
You want to know what freezer stores will do you bargain prices for your high street brands? Then you know. I mean, forget video games. Anyway, both of those, by the way, bonus chicken wings, chili beef, not Billy Chief, chili beef fries.
The salt and pepper goujons are really, really good as well. If you are into Chinese food, just get some.
There you go. Nice.
Bibi recommends.
Anyway, back in the room. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this going forward much more quicker now. 4 years from God of War coming out to God of War being ported to PC, there was a lot of learnings, and then there was the first ventures out in that sort of time. We've had that with Horizon. That was breaking new ground. It was cemented with Death Stranding. Anything going forward, I don't think it'll be 4 years before Ragnarok hits PC. Let's put it that way. God of War Ragnarok will hit consoles next year after, or whatever. I think you're probably right. 18 months after that, we'll see it on PC.
Speaking of Ragnarok, me and Samantha was watching Thor Ragnarok in bed last night. Like,
piss off, Ghost. Fucking love that.
It's just hit after hit. It's one of my favourite films ever. Like, he was on the chair and he's just screaming, ah! He's actually just in a room. It's not moving. Like, it's iconic, man. Like, it's the best MCU film that there is.
Taika Waititi's comedy, and it was just exceptional. Like, so many things.
I'm a rock. What's it say? It says something like, I'm a rock. Don't be scared of me. Unless your scissors. Just jump there. Like, fucking amazing. He just proper tickles me.
Goodbye, new dog. Just so many bits though, like when he throws the ball and it pings back at him in the just so many bits. Anyway, watch Thor Ragnarok if you haven't. So to recap on that one, God of War is coming to PC January the 14th. It's no longer a PlayStation exclusive. Do you know what? I'm not even going to comment. I'm not going to jump into an avenue for it because I don't think it deserves the column inches anymore. I haven't seen, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was some negativity about this was supposed to be PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah, 100%.
Why is it on PC?
That's what I'm saying. The world is definitely burning over on some on the Xbox side of it. Like this will no doubt piss off the Xbox, the PlayStation, the
fanboys.
Yeah, perfect word for it. The fact that it has been dubbed an exclusive, like exclusivities run out, and I know that PlayStation had never really hinted at moving these on to anything else. There was, like, annoyingly, they kept this to their consoles for the last 25 years whenever the PlayStation brought a game out, but it seems that they are moving with the times, and I have absolutely no problems with that. Like, games for everyone. I love the fact that consoles have exclusives, and I love the fact that people now, if you don't own an Xbox, that isn't the only avenue for you to be able to play Xbox games. You can play them on your mobile phone, you can play them over on your PC, you can play them on your tablet, it doesn't matter. But PlayStation have moved into an avenue now where PC players, not Xbox players necessarily, but the Steam marketplace, you can play these games. Like, what's wrong with that? This game came out 3
because my box should have a blue light on it, and that's not a blue light box. That's a different box that's got different graphics cards. They can't play my games that I have no legal ownership over, apart from the license that I have to play at home. Get over it.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, it's not as if it's the sales probably aren't that great for these games anymore. That's why they was given away on PlayStation Plus.
There you go. I mean, I said I didn't want to give any airtime to it, but we'll give it a little bit now then. Enix says devs are already receiving death threats from fans. It happens every time with this convo of PlayStation games going to PC. Happened with Horizon, Death Stranding, and Days Gone. There you go, Days Gone. There you go. Yeah, forgot that one. Yeah, nice. So, yeah, get over it. People are entitled to play games. Woosah. Let's jump back through the comments. Mr. Lotus says, so are you going to dress up as Harley Quinn for Halloween then? That is the question. That was because
I have the top half for it.
Lotus is dressing up as Joker, and I says, I'll join up as Harley Quinn. Actually, copyrights in that, and I'm a cheap Yorkshire man. How about I be Harry Quid? so I don't know. Probably not. Watching some more Walking Dead, so BRB, says Lotus. No, you do not leave. I didn't leave it. He still says PS Scrubs, Kappa Baby Face this time. So does Sony want me to own a PS5, or should I just upgrade my PC? It's great for gamers in general, but the exclusives are the only reason I own a PS console. I would still say there is definitely a reason to have a PlayStation console, because not all of the games are coming over.
You have to wait a long time anyway.
Yeah, and getting a PlayStation console, at least historically, you've not had the ability to play all of the Uncharted games on PC. You still can't play all of the Uncharted, and you, at this point in time, won't be able to play the Uncharted games on PC. Mm-hmm. That could change, so there's definitely still reasons for a PlayStation there. It just depends whether you're going to use it. Like, it's kind of like, I don't have a reason for an Xbox. I have an Xbox One S, and I want a Series X, but I will get that when the games bring me in. When the games are there, that is when my Xbox, my green side, gets reborn, and I get Game Pass and all that sort of stuff.
Jordan was selling his Xbox Series S, and it's like, it was 140 quid. I'm like, 140 quid for a next gen console, so I can play Game Pass wherever I go. It's such a tempting deal. I just wish I had the money.
The thing is, Jordan will sell it for 140 quid, and then 2 weeks later he'll buy
another one. Yeah,
280 quid. Yeah, fuck. Reason for having a PlayStation: holding the door open. To be fair, that's my issue. I need games I want to play day one. I'm a kid when it comes to games. There's
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that how you do your pastime? Like, mine's been playing golf for the last 2 years. That's how I like to spend my spare time. There's nothing wrong with wanting to play a game as soon as it comes out. If that's your hobby, everyone has hobbies, whether or not it's fucking watching TV all day or whatever, going running or playing golf, playing video games. It's all the same, regardless of what people tell you.
I went running 2 days ago. And I'm going to go run today. It's not my hobby. I'm still in pain. Tell you what, Bibby doesn't like to do. That's eat the Space Raider potatoes.
Well, thank you, Live Action Pixel, for the tier 1. Very much appreciate it. But yeah, moving back onto the Space Raiders, I think she's getting confused. It was the McCoys, actually. It was the McCoys cheese and onion flavoured chips. Do not get them because they smell like feet. Like, they smell really good in the bag. Like, when you open it, it'll be like, oh my God, it actually smells like cheese and onion McCoys. Like, unbelievable. Put them in the oven. Your house stinks of feet. Like, it's horrific.
My house stinks of feet anyway. So yeah, don't get the Space Raider potatoes. I'm assuming that's Nick, Live Action Pixel, jumping straight in with this. First comment is dropping a tier 1 sub. Thank you very much.
Absolutely love it.
If anyone isn't aware, by the way, of... I'm looking over there at that camera when it's this camera. If anyone isn't aware of Sneaky Zebra, do yourself a favour. Go check out Sneaky Zebra on YouTube. Exceptional videos. Do you know? No spoilers. Go check. Do it. Go hit the subscribe button as well. Sneaky Zebra. Do it.
Fantastic name.
It's a Sneaky Zebra. Feel free. Nice. Where did we get to? Sorry, shouting down the microphone. We've got that back. Gears of... God of War, not Gears of War. God of War already sold 22 million copies. Don't know why fans are getting angry about an old exclusive, especially when Ragnarok is out early next year. And that's the thing. It's baffling.
I want to throw this back to Jordan.
Oh, go on then. Throw it. Throw away.
What would he think of what if Halo ever came to PlayStation? Like, what about if every Halo game now comes over to PlayStation? I mean, he would probably be buzzing.
I know what he'd say.
What's that? Yeah. Play with everyone everywhere. Yeah. But I wouldn't mind. Halo needs big play base. I mean, that was the first thing that I was thinking of. Like, you'd probably be buzzing the fact that more people are able to play this game. But as Sony's now flagship, Xbox's flagship game, and is this their first next gen game that's coming out for the console? Like, the console seller?
I think so.
I can't, because there's been no Forza apparently is the way to say it rather than Forza. I've been saying it wrong for the last 20 years.
See, I keep saying Forza, and then like when I say it, it's like when someone says something posh, like a pan au chocolat. Someone goes.
A croissant. You gotta go in. You gotta go fully in with it. But yeah, like if that was Xbox's flagship game,
actually,
what's moved over?
A French football team, Olympic.
Leon.
There we go. Nice.
The mozzarella. You know what I mean? Chorizo. You got a proper.
You guys got robbed then because you got to hear it, but you didn't get to see the hand movements.
You got to do the hand movements along with it. Mozzarella. But yeah, like if it was their flagship game was being moved over to Sony a year later, it'd probably be great for the fan base that are there. But for the elitists, would that piss them off? I imagine so.
I just feel like just get over it. Get over it. I mean, I want the PlayStation console exclusives, but I don't want them to be PlayStation console exclusives. I want them because they are great games that you can only get on PlayStation. No, I don't want them because they're great on PlayStation. I want them because they're great games. It just so happens to be that they're only on PlayStation. Yeah. If I could play that on my PC, then that's fine. On my Xbox, that's fine. My Switch, my smartphone, when I'm on the toilet, whatever, that's fine. I just want the experience. So that tribalism, lying to the company that makes your choice of plastic product, what does that matter? Yeah. Get over it.
Agreed. If I could afford both consoles, absolutely like it. It's a no-brainer because I can play everything that I want to then. Especially obviously with Game Pass, because most things Xbox come there day one, so I don't even have to pay for it technically, because I'm getting it day one. It's free, just like it's for your £9 subscription.
It's free to subscribe to us if you've got Twitch Prime. Just saying. Let's jump quickly through the comments because we're still on story 2 and we've been live for about a week. So can't believe it took me so long to see this stream. Well, you're here now. I'm looking at this camera now. You're up there. God damn it. Thank you very much, dude. I wouldn't mind. Halo needs a big playbase. We got that one. With emulation being a thing, exclusive is always a timed exclusive, really. Exactly. Even the fact that they had to justify it by adding the word console exclusive. It's like, what does it matter? Get over it. I want it to be a successful FPS again, so it carries on. Timeless saying Forza is the first. It's cross-gen, but it runs like ass on Xbox One, so it shows they focus on next gen more as the as the texture detail is incredible. It looks really good.
No, Craig.
Lotus dropping my face in the chat with some lols. Nice. Big Sam, I really want to do God of War. And imagine playing it full. It's like it was 4K uncapped FPS or something.
Yeah,
like that. Oh.
everything was unlocked on PC for Horizon anyway. Mad.
So if you've not played it, then just wait. It's a bit different with that convo, to be honest, because PlayStation whole project is about exclusives that are only PlayStation, only on PlayStation. That's why it's a big thing. They backtracked and released them on PC a few years later.
That's the thing.
That's marketing, though. It's like how many times have you seen like Xbox exclusive or Xbox One X exclusive or that kind of stuff? It's just marketing stuff that people have twisted to suit their agenda. The only on PlayStation it's not this will never be played anywhere else. It just means what they're essentially saying is not on Xbox because it was a console war at that point in time. But that's the point. People read so far beyond it that
it's bizarre.
Anyway.
So what do you want to do? Do you want to run the Destiny one because we missed it yesterday?
Yeah,
and then
we'll
bump the other one for
take
tomorrow.
the PlayStation part until tomorrow. So jumping into our third story, this will be our last story of the day.
125% zoom. Are you mad?
Easy, Tiger.
Oh yeah, how bad are my eyes?
You're reading it with the back of your head. Anyway, our next story of the day is that Destiny 2 will sell Year 5 dungeons separately from the Witch Queen and Season Passes. This, I believe, was shared by Enix.
It was 2 years ago.
On the Discord. Thank you very much for sharing that in our Discord. If anyone else wants to share anything with us on Discord, I believe !Discord is now up and running.
Yes,
because Bibby
it
has
is.
smashed chat button in the face.
Moves, and loot drop.
Nice. So feel free to type !Discord to join our Discord. This article, though, is written by Austin Wood at Games Radar. The tagline says, the new dungeons are tied to the Witch Queen Deluxe Edition for now. The new dungeons coming to Destiny 2 next year won't be included in the standard versions of the Witch Queen or the Year 5 Season Passes. Bungie technically announced this when the Witch Queen's oh my god, I can't read. Bungie technically announced this when the Witch Queen's 3 editions, Standard, Deluxe, and Deluxe Plus, Bungie's 30th Anniversary December pack, were revealed, but some nuances slipped by in the product descriptions. The studio only recently put a spotlight on the way Year 5 dungeons will be sold. Quotes, we've seen some debate around the new dungeon content and wanted to clarify how it will be delivered next year. Community manager Cosmo23 said in a Reddit reply, if you get the digital deluxe edition of the Witch Queen, you will receive the expansion, all 4 seasons for the next year, and the 2 dungeons. If you get the standard edition, you can still upgrade to the deluxe edition to get the dungeons later. We will also be offering a separate way for you to purchase the dungeons in the future, but they will not be included in the season passes. In other words, if you just buy the basic version of the Witch Queen and Year 5 Season Passes, you won't be able to play the new dungeons. These activities are currently exclusive to the Deluxe Edition of the expansion, which also comes with Season Passes for Year 5, making it more of a future-proof bundle. Players will be able to retroactively upgrade to the Deluxe Edition, and the Year 5 dungeons will eventually be sold separately as well. During the big Witch Queen reveal, Bungie committed to more regular endgame content drops in Year 5, with a new raid, 2 dungeons, and a reprised raid arriving throughout the year. But the standard edition of the Witch Queen covers the campaign, a new raid, another 6-player activity, exotic gear, weapon crafting, and the first of the new glaives. This suggests that the first Year 5 dungeon will be decoupled from the Witch Queen and arrive sometime after it. Do you know what? I'm going to finish the article. I'll finish the article.
I don't think you need to.
Oh, okay, nice. See, this... I'm not a Destiny player. Bibby has played more Destiny 2 than I have, a lot more. Is this significant, Bib? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this isn't just exclusive to just Destiny. If you take the MMO model itself, if you was a World of Warcraft player and the new, I don't know, the Burning Crusade, I know that's a previous one, was to come out as an expansion, and the level cap gets increased. There's new loot, there is new maps, there is a new area for you to be able to go to, there is new dungeons. And in that expansion, they go, okay, so this is an expansion by definition is something that gets tacked onto the end of something to make it obviously a lot bigger or more enjoyable or whatever it is that you want to use an extension on. But
it's not that sort of show, calm down.
Then having the most significant part of your expansion being taken away and being told that you have to spend more to be able to get access to that is fucking criminal. Like, I will never condone this, and I hope to God that this has been fired straight back at them saying this is not okay. What you're telling us is you have an expansion for your game, but my £40 for an expansion is not good enough anymore. You want me to spend £80 because you are hiding something else from behind there. That's, as an expansion, it should be a full bundle deal. Like, if you're paying £40 on top of it, that should be the entire thing. That's the way that MMOs have always done it. Like, they don't sell you things in... A season pass is completely different from an expansion. A season pass is something for you to be able to get added content to on top of something that's usually free to play. But if you want to add that in, that's absolutely fine. But an expansion, by definition, in an MMO is like level cap expansion. Cool. I go from 60, I'm able to go to 70. I'll have new items to be able to try and acquire. That's cool. I can. There's a new area of a map that has a load more new missions and side quests. That's cool. And then at the end of all that, when level cap has been reached and you've reached the end game, you then go and do raids and dungeons. But you're telling me the raids and dungeons, which is the end game that you have usually in an expansion, has now been taken away, and I have to spend an extra £20 on that. That's not cool. That is not okay. That should never, ever, ever be the case in point for something like this.
Interesting.
It's not just this. Well, this is obviously exclusive. I've never heard this before in any kind of MMO game before until Destiny have done this, which is why I think it's so bizarre.
I mean, it's quite clearly a thing because we have news articles. We're reading a news article. The fact that we are covering it in a news article clearly means that it has ruffled feathers enough. Mr. T says Nico said it was fine, and I can see Bibby's got Nico's tweet on the screen. I won't put that on the screen, but it says the value of Destiny is incredible. This is not an issue for me. That is quoting Fran Mirabella, the third, aka FM3, part of Kind of Funny, who says Destiny's 2's drama of the day is Bungie clarified dungeons are indeed capital letters, not part of the season passes in 2022. I really think they should have done an infographic. The value is there, but the plan is not. The why, importantly, is also not clear.
Yeah.
Taserbad says, fuck you, Destiny, fuck you, Blizzard.
I don't agree with... I mean, obviously, Nico is the number one Destiny player I have ever known in my life, so for his benefit, he will say it's fine. That might be absolutely fine for me, but I think this, as a whole, sets a very dangerous precedent for any kind of MMO. I would be mortified if I bought a new expansion for ESO and then have the dungeons and raids being taken away from me. I have to pay more for that. No, mate, that should come as part of your expansion. The whole premise of an expansion is to give you an end game content, and what's the point in having an expansion if I have to buy those things separately? It makes no sense to me. It's a very dangerous precedent to set.
So to summarise, Bibby thinks Nico Di Maria is a penis.
I mean,
we love you, Nico.
If I speak, I'm in trouble.
No, I mean, see, that's interesting. It's interesting to see because Nico is a big fan of the series. Nico. Check out Nico Plays on Twitch, by the way. If you haven't seen Nico on Twitch, he plays Destiny. Funnily enough, I don't know. There you go. But Nico plays a lot of Twitch. A lot of Destiny. Plays it on Twitch. And he clearly gets enough value from that game already because he still plays that game. So is that a case of he is very closely aligned to it? So he has so much value in the game already that he sees that I don't mind paying to get more because I feel like the game is more value than enough. Which I get that. The thing that I would align with probably though is, and this is someone that has played minutes of Destiny, literally less than 5 minutes, probably about 3 minutes of Destiny when we're at Arcade Club. And yeah, my thoughts on that is that's just shrinkflation. You've paid 40 quid for your full expansion before. Now you're paying 40 quid for your expansion but not getting as much. Nobody likes it when you buy a cream egg and it costs you 50p and it's smaller than it was the year before. Nobody likes that. When the Toblerones have got more spaces between the bits, that's shrinkflation. Nobody likes that. But Frank Mirabella's bit in there is probably the bit that I need as someone that isn't in this. The important thing that's missing is the why.
Yeah.
Why are we spending more money? If there's a good reason for it, if the content is bigger, if the expansion is larger than it ever has been before, if you will get 30 hours of gameplay from the previous expansion numbers, but you get 50 hours in this for the same price, then the raid stuff on the end of it, if there's reasons for that, why? I mean, I'd be saying, oh, well, why not put the 20 hours as a 20 quid extra add-on, keep the raids within the expansion that people come to know and love, that's been a developed platform. So
I can give you the best analogy that I could potentially give you here.
Let's go.
If you go to buy a brand new game and you do all the side missions, you get your character up to the level max and stuff like that, but then you get to the end boss and then you're being told that you have to pay an extra £10 for it, would that piss you off?
Yeah, that's like, forget even to that bit. Super Mario Run, you get 5 seconds in and it's going, you're enjoying this? Well, no, you're not unless you pay it off.
Yeah, so I couldn't imagine in any other MMO where the whole point of your expansion is building towards this boss battle, you get in there and them saying, okay, here's an extra £10. Like, that's not okay, and I hope to God that people push back on this. If Nico thinks that he can get his value out of it, that's absolutely fine. That's how he spends his money. But as someone who's been invested in MMOs, it doesn't suit the way that I want to consume it. If your whole thing is about this boss that's coming in, this new villain, and then you get to the villain and then you're being told that you have to spend more.
It's a credit card, please.
Yeah,
it's a shame that Nico has the nerve to have a life and a job, so therefore he's working. Because it would have been good to have had Nico's input on this in the chat. But I mean, I don't really have any sway, so I'm looking at this from an outside consumer without the information. I wouldn't question the fact that there's probably hours and value within there, but I would question, from what Bibby's just said, taking that, obviously we don't have Nico's counterpoint, but taking that, you are taking the end game away. You are charging me extra for the end game. If you're charging me extra for the end game, then you are not giving me the full game. Therefore, why am I paying the full price for an incomplete game? But that's what it is. If anyone does have any extra takes on that, do feel free to drop them in the chat. But for now, we are going to start to wrap things up. So Destiny 2... Oh, that screen's frozen.
Is it? Is that the front one?
Let's go to this camera.
That's interesting.
And let's see if we're still frozen. Yep. Okay, we'll finish on this one. Nice. Didn't want to be on that one anyway. We want to bring you closer.
That's weird, isn't it? Has the camera turned itself off, you reckon?
It's probably just like it. In OBS, I would just deactivate and reactivate the source. It feels like it's frozen, but there. We got this one. This is why we have multiple cameras. Anyway, until this one freezes. That was okay. We are done. Thank you for sticking around for the fourth scoop of the week. We do the scoop 10 a.m. ish. It was 12:15 when we went live today.
Busy day.
It only just for us. Good spot. Thank you very much. I did think that was the case. It looked like I was just sitting up to get ready for my closing off speech, but then I wasn't 100%, so I couldn't commit to it. But yeah, we are done. This is the fourth scoop of the week. We do the scoop Monday to Friday, each and every single weekday. Twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads around 10 a.m. ish. Sometimes it's close to 10 a.m. Sometimes not so much with the closeness. Sometimes it is a little bit further away, like today. But that's just nature of the beast. We work in the video games industry. Doing the actual video games work comes first. Talking about the video games, we fit in around that when we can. We do have a new stream schedule. For those that haven't seen it, we do now stream on Twitch 7 days a week, Monday to Friday with the scoop at 10 a.m, Saturday with some PUBG with me, fun times, and then Sunday 10 a.m. Ish, all of the issues by the way, for Bib with some Back for Blood. I did stream yesterday evening, and Bibby will be live with some FIFA Frenzy tonight as well, so if you want some extra gameplay content around we put 6:30ish on the asset, but obviously he's got to get home from the office and have his food and stuff, so 6:30ish, obviously the ish. GT Omega Brian, thank you very much for the subscription with Prime. We appreciate it. If anyone else does have a Prime, we'll happily look after it for you for a month. Do you know what? You don't want it weighing you down. Just throw it at us. We'll take it off you. We'll give it you back next month, and you can put it wherever you want then. Nice. Thanks for the entertainment today. Thank you very much, Brian, for dropping in. It's always good to see you. Great to catch you. And you too, Nick. Appreciate you being here, dude. Thank you very much. Timeless saying tomorrow's gonna be 6 p.m, right?
That's Friday, who knows?
You never know. You never know. But that's it. We are going to disappear. As mentioned, there is an extra stream tonight. Bibby will be back at 6:30. But before then, Mr. Bib.
Yeah.
Is there anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, we've still got one more scoop left, which is tomorrow. So if you want to help shape that show, there is two ways that you can do so. First of all, find us on social media. It is at Ice Cream Uploads across all major social media platforms. Or if you're watching this on any of our on-demand services, get into the Discord. Go into the description underneath. All the information that you require will be listed there below. And what we need from you is a URL plus your thoughts and impressions. We will then give you our thoughts and impressions on the very next show, which will be at what time tomorrow, Mr. Graham Day?
That's going to be at 10 a.m. Ish. You've seen today, it could be a big ish. But we will see you nonetheless. We are going to find one of our friends to drop a raid from. So if you are still in the chat, don't go anywhere. Because you might see below the chat, I want to say down there somewhere, you will see the channel points. Our channel points are called sprinkles. You get sprinkles for being involved in the streams, just lurking, chatting, subscribing, things like that. You get channel points. They allow you to spend to do things on the channel. Do stick around for the raid because that gives you extra channel points. Plus, we get to help out one of our friends with a little bit of love. So feel free to stick around for the raid. But for now, though, we are going to disappear. Have yourselves a fantastic day. Bibby will see you at 6:30 tonight. Until then, what they got to do, Bib?
I think you got to stay frosty.